Good day. I am one of the researchers of this study entitled The Effect of Verbal and Non-Verbal Communication on the Performance of Small and Medium Enterprises in Online Selling. I am Anlit Grace Y. Pinote, a third-year BSBA major in marketing student, and I will discuss the introduction, the statement of the problem, and the significance of the study. So, introduction. Today, online selling worldwide is one of the effective ways to gain and earn enough for financial stability. Due to quarantine caused by the chronic COVID-19 pandemic, most people change way of buying shopping online. Small medium enterprises in Manolo Fortich like Roxy, Norat Okais were also influenced by online selling and learned to use the recent technologies such as Facebook to reach the potential buyers since everyone uses social media these days. Since nowadays, almost everyone uses social media, the researcher wanted to know the effect of verbal and nonverbal communication on the performance of the small business around Manolo Fortich, Bukidnon. So, the statement of the problem of this study is to aim and answer the following. First, to determine the socio-demographic profile of the respondents in terms of age, gender, and marital status. Second is to determine whether verbal and nonverbal communications thus lead to the respondents' perceptions of the performance of small and medium enterprises in online selling. And third one is to determine the significance of verbal and nonverbal communication when they are grouped according to age, gender, and marital status. So, the significance of this study is the students, the small and medium enterprises, the future researcher.
I'm Christina Igumamo, BSBA, major in financial management, one of the researcher. Scope and the limitation of the study. The study will be at Northern Bukidnon State College in Manolo Fortich, Bukidnon. Our respondents in the study were NBSC students, third year major in marketing management. The study was conducted in the school year second semester 2021 and 2022. Methods. This is the process of our study. First, we identify the problems, develop research title, formulate statement of the problem. Next is the hypothesis, review of related literature, selection of design, selection of instrument, research questionnaire, collected the list of the students. We use Rowsoft to identify the sample size of population, research ethics approval before conducting the study, data gathering, data processing and analysis. After the analysis, results and discussions, summary of findings, conclusions, and we give our recommendations. And lastly, report writing. Statement of the problem number one to determine the socio-demographic profile of respondents in terms of age, gender, and marital status. So as you can see in the table that the ages 18 to 24 got the highest frequency and percentage, which implies that the BSBA majoring in marketing management is most likely those who watch online or listen to the online seller using verbal and nonverbal communication. The female respondents get the highest percentage, which indicates that there are more female students that were enrolled in the third year marketing management and have an experience in terms of online selling, and the single indicated that they had the most familiarity with the internet purchases or they prefer to purchase when they use the proper and well mannered. I just want to clarify the highest mean in the table for in verbal and nonverbal communication because there is an error in the paper I submit. My mistake, sorry. Statement of the problem number two to determine whether verbal and nonverbal communication does lead to the respondent's perception of the performance of SMEs in their online selling. The highest mean in the statement in verbal communication are statements 1 and 5. It indicates that the respondents prefer whenever the seller convey their message clearly and accurately during online selling. The highest mean among the five statements in nonverbal was statement number 1. It indicates that the respondents also prefer to see the seller doing live when the seller is smiling and it is catching their attention. Verbal communication got the highest mean resulting in 4.17 while the nonverbal got the mean of 3.70. It means that verbal is more important in online selling or platform since it is more pleasant to use and sends a clear message. Statement of the problem number 3, to determine the significance differences in verbal and nonverbal communication when they are grouped according to age, gender, and marital status. So, in verbal communication, it implies that the influence of age on the factor verbal communication while listening to the online seller does differ or has a relationship for different age group because the 18 to 24 years old got the highest number of the respondents, which indicates or implies that they were influenced to watch online selling if the seller used verbally to market their product or has a well-mannered way of expressing. However, gender and marital status do not differ for verbal because they influence whether the online seller used verbal communication or not. In nonverbal communication, it implies that the influence of age on the factor nonverbal communication while watching an online seller differs for different age groups. The 18 to 24 years old receive the most responses, implying that they are influenced to watch online selling if the seller uses nonverbal communication or gestures. However, gender and marital status does not differ in verbal communication because they influence whether the online seller uses nonverbal or not.
Good day, ma'am, sir. This is Roxanne Vernabi Ibanez, a Best Bay student, third year, major in Operation Management. Conclusion. Based on the social demographic profile, the female respondents of Best Bay majoring in marketing management was much higher results from the gathered data. That they are much more likely ones to shop online selling when the seller used verbal communication. From the age of 18 to 24 years old, there are the most numbers of customers who buy online selling because they are more active online, especially nowadays we are more influenced by social media. As a result, more customers want to shop online, especially in live selling, when the seller was more effective in how they express themselves. Using verbal and nonverbal can gain and attract more customers. According to the result, it is very helpful in the business to grow more in the online business world. And for the recommendation, for those students that have an aim to do a business, we must have these verbal and nonverbal communications to enable us to have more customers and to get their attention easily. This could be a way to grow more in the business world. To be successful in online business, especially in online selling, small medium enterprises must employ both verbal and nonverbal communication. If they apply these communication abilities, they will be able to attract more customers in the future. Using verbal communication in online selling can lead to an accurate performance in communicating a message or promoting the product to customers and can increase their communication skills for future researchers who have a correct understanding of handling the online business.